Hello and welcome to the MLB pregame show here on the Coliseum Sports Network. I'm Raymond Sims. From Comerica Park in Detroit, it's Game 2 of the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series between the Houston Astros and the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers got the 2-0 win in Game 1 thanks to a stellar pitching performance by Justin Verlander, a solo home run by Miguel Cabrera, and an RBI sac fly by Torrey Hunter. Meanwhile, the Astros racked up 10 hits but could not bring in any runs, leaving 6 total runners on base. In response, Astros manager Bo Porter has switched up his lineup for Game 2, hoping to generate some offense against the power-hitting Tigers. Here are those lineups for both sides. First, for the Astros, the starting pitcher today is Dallas Keuchel. Leading off for the Astros is second baseman Jose Altuve. Batting second is the right fielder Jake Marisnick. Batting third is the designated hitter Chris Carter. Batting fourth is the left fielder, Robbie Grossman. Batting fifth is the shortstop, Marwin Gonzalez. Batting sixth is the third baseman, Matt Dominguez. Batting seventh is the first baseman, John Singleton. Batting eighth is the catcher, Jason Castro. And rounding out the lineup is center fielder, Dexter Fowler. And for the homestanding Tigers, the starting pitcher today is Rick Porcello. Leading off will be center fielder, Rajay Davis. Batting second is second baseman, Ian Kinsler. Batting third is first baseman Miguel Cabrera. Batting fourth is the designated hitter Victor Martinez. Batting fifth is the right fielder Torrey Hunter. Batting sixth is the left fielder J.D. Martinez. Batting seventh is the third baseman Nick Castellanos. Batting eighth is the shortstop Eugenio Suarez. And batting ninth is the catcher Brian Holiday. Now, before we head out to Detroit, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Coliseum Sports Network here on YouTube for all of the best fictional sports action. Also, be sure to check out simscoliseum.com as well as the Sims Coliseum social media channels on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. It's partly cloudy skies this evening in Detroit. We had some rain come through the area during the afternoon, but it looks like the coast is clear heading into tonight's game. So stay tuned. Game 2 of the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series is coming up next on the Coliseum Sports Network. Welcome back to Detroit. It's Game 2 of the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series between the Houston Astros and the Detroit Tigers. After a 2-0 victory last night, the Detroit Tigers lead the series 1-0. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Raymond Sims, here to call the action for you today, so nice of you to join us. Houston will bat off first, as they did last night, as they are the away team, and here's their lineup. Altuve, Marisnick, and Carter due up. Bo Porter making some major changes, hoping that it can turn into offense for his Astros. And they will be taking on the right-hander Rick Porcello. It's time to get going here from Detroit, and leading off is Jose Altuve. Here's the first offering. It is a two-seamer in there for a strike, and we're underway from Detroit. Rick Porcello's last start was a 7-3 victory for Detroit over the Miami Marlins, where Porcello was able to pick up the win. Altuve pops this one up into the air. Under it is Suarez. He makes a play of it in shallow left for out number 1. So after the defense makes a play, let's take a look at the defensive lineup presented by Majestic. Coming up next to the plate, Jake Marisnick. Marisnick batted 8th last night and went 2 for 3 with a strikeout. And he'll hit this one right in front of Torrey Hunter, and he's on with a base hit. He has been hot since he has arrived from Miami in a trade that sent Enrique Hernandez the other way. He wasn't going to be looked too much for offense, but he has really been on it here ever since. He comes into this game batting .455. So here comes the designated hitter, Chris Carter. As opposed to Marisnick and Altuve, which have just come before him, Chris Carter has been having a rough go of it. Of course, in the regular season, he's displayed a lot of power. But here for the Astros in the Coliseum baseball tournament, he's batting .222 with 4 singles and nothing more. This is, of course, in 5 games, the 4 from the regional round, as the Astros breezed their way through the Western region to become champions, and the 1 game from last night. Swing and a miss by Carter. Carter went 1 for 3 yesterday, picked up 2 strikeouts and a walk. Will Porter hoping that the reigning AL Player of the Week can break out of his slump here in the tournament. If Carter can start showing off the power, it'll most certainly start paying dividends down the line. Marisnick leading off from first, 1-2 count to Carter with 1 out here in the top of the first. And Carter pops this one up in the air, going into left field, hooking, just foul. There's the power, but the direction veers it foul. We'll see if he can put it in play on the next pitch here. The 1-2 once again. And this one up in the air, traveling to center. Rajai Davis has a beat on it, and he's got it for out number 2. So the hitting woes continue for Chris Carter. Take a look at it again on replay. He kind of got under the swing, but he put a lot of oomph in it, and it forced it into center for an easy fly out. So here comes Robbie Grossman in the 4 spot. He's been leading off the past couple of games. Comes into this one batting .294. And Marisnick's going for it on the first pitch. He slides in and he's stolen second. We saw 3 stolen base attempts, 2 for the Astros, 1 for the Tigers, all of them unsuccessful. So here's the first one of the tournament. And now it's 0-1 with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. This one fouled off. Marisnick stealing his first base of the tournament. And the slider inside strikes out Grossman looking. So the runner goes into scoring position, but nothing comes of it. 1 hit, nothing more. And the Tigers will get their first chance on offense after this. Welcome back to Detroit. Here's Brad Ausmus, and here's Brad Ausmus's lineup, presented by MLB 14 The Show. Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera due up here in the bottom of the first inning. They'll be taking on Dallas Keuchel, who pitched in the first game of the Coliseum tournament in the Western region. ended up with a no decision in that epic 4-3 win over the Athletics in Oakland. Keuchel's taking his last pitch and they're throwing it around the horn, so let's take a look at the defensive lineup presented by Majestic. Back in his familiar leadoff spot, here's Rajai Davis. Set to go here in the bottom of the first inning. This one put it in play, gets past the glove of Dominguez and into left field. Leadoff single for Davis. And he's on with none out. That one getting right past Dominguez. That's unfortunate. Usually very good at vacuuming those up. But he could not there, so here's Ian Kinsler with a runner on. And Davis is going, and he will slide in no problems. So 2 successful stolen base attempts when we saw none yesterday. The funny thing, despite the type of speed that Rajai Davis possesses, that is his first stolen base of the entire tournament. And that's especially crazy considering that the Tigers have played more games than anybody in this tournament. Davis has started all of them in center field except one when Austin Jackson was a member of this team during that first game against the Cubs. Here's the 1-1 to Kinsler. Pitch outside, 4-seamer for ball 2. Kinsler went 0 for yesterday. Fouls this one off here. 0 for 3. He got on with a walk, and on that walk, he eventually came home to score. 2-2 count to Ian. Oh, and that one in there, and he's just looking at it. A backwards K for Ian Kinsler, and that's out number 1. Rajai Davis will have to wait on second for at least one more batter, and here is Miguel Cabrera. See, he had 137 runs batted in back in 2013. In 2014, he has 86 RBIs. And in the tournament, he has 4. Change up in there for strike 1. Cutter sails past Cabrera. He doesn't move an inch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tomorrow, of course, we'll have more action for you. But we'll have a change of venue. We'll be at Minute Maid Park in Houston for Game 3 as Cabrera drops this one just foul. We'll have Game 3 of the CBCS. 8:05 Eastern here on the Coliseum Sports Network. Here's the 1-2. This one popped up in the air. Fowler under it. Should make a play of it. And he's got it. Davis will stay at second. He will not tag up. And that is 2 outs with a runner still on second. So here comes Victor Martinez, who hits the first pitch, rounded up by Dominguez, and able to make the play at first to wrap up the inning. So Dominguez let the Davis hit get by him, but not the one by Martinez. And That will do it for the first inning, still scoreless. Here comes Marwin Gonzalez leading off the second inning. 4 batters into the experimental lineup that Bo Porter's put out today here in Game 2. And only 1 hit so far. We'll see what more can be generated. They were able to get 10 hits last night, but just couldn't bring any runners home. This one fouled off. Marwin Gonzalez, for his troubles, went 0 for 3. He and Robbie Grossman, the only 2 Astros that were unable to get a hit. This one slapped and lined into the glove of Kinsler for out number 1. I want to make a correction on something I said back in the bottom of the first inning. I said that Kinsler went 0 for 3 with a run and a walk. That was in the 5th game that the Tigers had played in their tournament. Kinsler still did go 0 for 3 last night, but he had a strikeout and an intentional walk. I just want to clear that up. Kinsler making the out. First one of the inning. So here's Matt Dominguez up at the plate. Dominguez will take the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dominguez batting .211. Went 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Looking for better days today. He puts this one in play. Sailing to left field. Martinez should be under it. And he's got it for out number 2. Yesterday's game went scoreless up until the 6th inning. And Miguel Cabrera was able to come home on a sac fly by Torrey Hunter. We'll see how far this goes between Porcello and Keuchel. Here's the first pitch to John Singleton. Two-seamer in there. No balls, 1 strike. Singleton went 1 for 4. Attempted a stolen base and failed. But other than that, pretty ho-hum day. Going .263 here in the tournament, .368 slugging percentage. Check swing, but in there for a strike 0-2. This one fouled off. Another one sails back. Singleton still in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. Singleton doing what he can, swinging defensively, trying to get out of this situation. Still no balls and 2 strikes. That one sails outside. There's the first ball of the at-bat. Singleton reaches on the 1-2. So despite being behind in the count on each of these pitches, he still managed to swing defensively. Will it last? It will continue for at least 1 more pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. John Singleton picked in the 8th round by the Philadelphia Phillies in the 2009 draft. And he goes down on strikes here. So after a long duel, Singleton goes down swinging. Porcello finishes the 2nd inning with 2 strikeouts to his name. What can Detroit do in the bottom of the 2nd? We'll find out after this. Rick Porcello, the pitcher, was able to complete a 3-up, 3-down inning, a line out, a fly out, and a strikeout. Well, Keuchel able to follow suit. He's given up 1 hit so far, has a strikeout. And here's Torrey Hunter for the first time in the evening. He'll take a changeup lofted in there, upper 70s. Very nice for strike 1. Slider outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hunter's batting .259 right now, but you got to appreciate the 2 home runs. Of course, with so few games, getting a couple of home runs, getting multiple home runs in this tournament really is an accomplishment. And Altuve, diminutive as he is, was able to pick his glove up in the air and bring down the Hunter liner for out number 1. Take a look at it on replay. That one looked like it was going to be over Altuve's head, but just because he's 5'5" doesn't mean he can't snag down the hit. So 1 out here, 4 straight retired batters for Keuchel, and here's J.D. Martinez. Now, I was just talking about the 2 home runs from Torrey Hunter. J.D. Martinez leading the way in the tournament with 3. .633 slugging percentage. Second on the team behind Cabrera with his 2 home runs, his triple, and his double. Cabrera with a .720 slugging percentage. 1 ball and 1 strike here to JD. He actually had a pretty bad day yesterday. This one popped up in the air. Looks like Castro's under it. That one's high up there. But still out number 2. So we'll have to talk about that bad day a little bit later. But I can say that Martinez finished yesterday 0-4 with 3 strikeouts. So here is Nick Castellanos returning to his post at third base after Cabrera was tabbed with the start at third for a couple of games. Cabrera played third in the second game of the regional championship and in game 1 of this series. But after a break, Castellanos back at it. He needed a break too. In 6 games, he was batting .143. He did get a home run. As he'll pop this one back. He did hit a home run. That was back against, I have to go back in the old archives here. I believe that was back against the Marlins. This one put in play, but rounded up by Gonzalez for out number 3. So there you have it, a 3-up, 3-down inning, 6 straight retired for Dallas Keuchel, and it is still scoreless after 2. We're in the final third of the first third of this game, and here is Jason Castro. This one chopped into play, rounded up by Cabrera, and gets it to Porcello as he's able to cover first for out number 1. And here is Dexter Fowler. I'm sure he never expected to ever hit 9th in an Astros uniform. He definitely did not sign up for that. Then again, he didn't sign with the Astros at all. He was traded over the winter in exchange for Brandon Barnes. Here's the 1-0. Slider outside. Dexter Fowler made his return off the disabled list in time for the Western Regional Championship against the Angels. He went 1 for 4 in that game. He'll knock this one into center field, but Davis with all his range, able to cover it. And there's out number 2. So now Porcello has 7 straight retired with 2 outs here in the third. And here comes Jose Altuve back up to the plate. Altuve popped up to short his last time up. Suarez under that one in shallow left. Altuve went 3 for 4 yesterday, so he was off to a great start. We'll see if he can have a repeat performance here. He'll swing at the first pitch and it'll foul off. While Fowler's not used to hitting ninth, Altuve's been hitting leadoff in extended stretches throughout the season. Altuve gets this one up in the air. It's traveling to the warning track. Is Hunter under it? He is. Right at the back of the warning track. And that's out number 3. Another 3-up, 3-down inning for Rick Porcello. And we have pitching finesse going on here in Detroit. Still scoreless. Bottom of the third here from Detroit. We're almost done with the Tigers lineup. We come up to the number 8 hitter, Eugenio Suarez. Suarez lays down the bunt, but it's foul. Suarez batting .231 in the tournament overall, including the CBCS. He fouls this one back as well. He started every game at short except for the one yesterday. Andrew Romine came in. Brad Ausmus's just feeling that Suarez needed a break. He's done very well at short. So now he's back. Don't want to lose that production as this one sails out in the left field, and Grossman, finally having something to do, catches the fly out for out number 1. First put out today for Grossman. So now making his second appearance in the Coliseum Baseball Tournament, first one in the CBCS. Here's Brian Holiday. First pitch he sees, he swings at, and Grossman, a little easier than the last fly out, but still a fly out all the same for out number 2. One hit each given up by Dallas Keuchel and Rick Porcello. We are 1 out away from completing the third inning. Here's Rajai Davis resetting the lineup. Change up in the dirt for ball 1. I was really wondering which way this was going to go coming into this series. Astros pitching has done so well shutting down other teams. Well, the Astros offense hasn't quite been electric. Meanwhile, the Tigers managed to pick up the most hits over the most games, but also the highest average runs per game throughout the tournament. Part of me was thinking it was going to be a slugfest offensively, but Davis hits this one out to left field, and Grossman has to chase it down, but he still gets it for out number 3. So Grossman single-handedly retiring the Detroit Tigers in the bottom of the third. After a third of the game, it's still scoreless with 1 hit each. Welcome back to the Motor City. I hope you didn't blink because you probably missed the first 3 innings. 1 hit each. Rick Porcello and Dallas Keuchel both pitching gems. We'll see how long it lasts. Here's Rick Porcello, 34 pitches in. The 34th one is a 2-seamer, too low for a ball to Jake Marisnick. Marisnick pops this one up in the air. He got on with a single, but it looks like that won't be happening here. Davis able to get the out to lead off the inning. So Marisnick now 1 for 2. And here comes Chris Carter. Swing and a miss on the two-seamer for strike one. I'm sure Chris Carter is hungry for some home cooking, wishing he could pull a shot over into the Crawford boxes. They'll be able to do that tomorrow. And this one hit and drops in for a single. Rounded up by Davis, it'll be a base hit with one out here in the top of the fourth. Carter went 1 for 3, so he gets his one hit here. And we'll see if there's more to come from Chris Carter, the reigning AL Player of the Week in the MLB regular season. But for now, here is the left fielder, Robbie Grossman. Born in San Diego, but he's a Houston product, went to high school in the Cypress Fairbanks School District. Two-seamer inside. He's probably looking for some home cooking as well. He hit a home run in the Astros' only home game so far in this tournament, that regional championship win over the Angels. This one fouled off. But now he's in the hole, 0-2. We saw that happen to John Singleton. He was able to keep a duel going, but eventually struck out swinging. What will come of Robbie Grossman? One out, man on first. And this one put in play, rounded up by Suarez, and he can't start the double play. Suarez was able to save face and get it to second in time. So the out's there at second, but Grossman already putting on the brakes as he passed first, and he's on with what will probably be a base hit, though I would not be surprised if we see an E6. We'll find out from the official score shortly. That will be a base hit. No notification on the score bug usually indicates that. So a runner still on first, just a different man for Marwin Gonzalez. 2 outs here, 1 out, or 2 outs, 1 on, and a scoreless game here in the top of the fourth. This one fouled off by Gonzalez. Gonzalez batting .267. Has to move out of the way of the four-seamer. He's played 4 games, so all of them except that San Francisco game when Gregorio Petit started in his place. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Porcello looking to keep it rolling. He's given up 2 hits here in the inning, but he already has 2 outs. And a runner not in scoring position, but this one, a shot in the right field. Hunter chasing it down at the wall, and he's got it. Oh, wow, what a catch by Torii Hunter. And so once again, the Astros leave runners stranded, still scoreless, heading into the bottom of the fourth. Here is Ian Kinsler. I'm still reeling from that catch out and right by Torii Hunter. But what do you expect from an all-star and a gold glover? Kinsler fouls off the first pitch from Dallas Keuchel. Porcello gave up 2 hits there in the top of the fourth, for a total of 3 now. We'll see if Keuchel bends or breaks here in the bottom of the fourth. Like Porcello, he only gave up 1 hit coming into the fourth. Kinsler struck out looking his last time up. And I'm pretty sure, even though his last name starts with K, he does not want another one. He's just fine with the 1 on his name. Slider veers inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty here as Kinsler leads off the bottom of the fourth. The pitch from Keuchel right back up the middle, bounces off the mound, bounces past second and into center field for a base hit. So there's hit number 2 given up by Keuchel. And that is the leadoff hitter getting on base. Here's Miguel Cabrera stepping up to the plate for the second time today. He scored both runs yesterday as he got on with a walk the first time around and came in off the sac fly that I had mentioned earlier. And then he hit a solo shot 2 innings later. Exactly what you want out of an all-star like Cabrera. Pitch out, trying to keep Kinsler at first. And keep him honest for now. He's 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts. In real life, Kinsler 12 for 15. So it hasn't been aggressive here in the tournament as much. It won't be on this pitch as Cabrera takes it. 2 balls and 1 strike. On both sides, we saw a share of leadoff hitters in innings getting on base, and for the most part, it meant absolutely nothing. Not a lot of runs coming home yesterday. And Cabrera will pop this one up high in the air, and that will be Marisnick's responsibility. He's got it for out number 1. Here comes Victor Martinez. Now, while there were some so-so stat lines yesterday, Victor Martinez probably had the biggest smile between both clubhouses. He went 3 for 4 yesterday, and that one hit he didn't get was a strikeout. Gonna look to continue the momentum today. In the 2 games that Cabrera was moved over to third, Martinez came down from his designated hitter spot and started at first. And Kinsler's going for it. And he is gunned down. He's 0 for 2. Now in the tournament. And that's out number 2. Take a look at it again. Castro not having any of it. Kinsler was almost there, but the jump just wasn't good enough. And he will go back to the dugout. And now Victor Martinez is dealing with 2 outs and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 4th. He has to deal with a cutter he has to move out of the way of. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Martinez, after that foray at first, is back to the designated hitter role. As that slider veers outside for a full count. First one today from Dallas Keuchel. Martinez, 23 games this season at first base. He got a couple at catcher. Now he will draw a base on balls. So while Kinsler is gone, while he was caught stealing, Victor Martinez will take his place at first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Only the 3rd base runner allowed, but the hit count at least remains at 2. So here's Torrey Hunter. Swing and a miss on the 4-seamer. Three singles, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. It's not fast enough to leg out triples these days. It's kind of a moot point. Just as long as he can put bat to ball and get runners moving, I'm pretty sure Brad Ausmus is fine with whatever Torrey Hunter does. Or Seamer in there, 2 balls, 1 strike. He does have a triple, though, in the regular season, just not here in the tournament. Can he get one between this game and the next game, or game 4 or 5 is necessary? This one put in play, gets right past Carter. or gets past Singleton rather. Carter's a designated hitter. Singleton's at first today. And Hunter's on with a base hit. So a bit of a conga line forming. Martinez moves up to second, 90 feet away. And Hunter will replace him at first. 2 on with 2 out. Tigers trying to get a 2-out rally going. Just the type of person you want to see. Here's J.D. Martinez. J.D., a former Astro, played for them in 2013. 9 RBIs. Usually when he's taking his home run trot, he likes to bring some teammates along with him. He had a 3-run shot in the Game 1 of the regional championship. That was all the Tigers needed in that particular game. I just want to reiterate how masterful of a performance it was against the Cubs. Sure, it was just the Cubs. I'm sure a lot of fans are saying, but the Cubs were doing very well for themselves in the winner's bracket portion of the tournament. This one carrying down the right field line and hooking foul. It's a little bit more distance with the same hook, and that probably would have been a home run akin to what Nick Castellanos hit back against Miami. But yes, the Cubs, they did very well here in this tournament, and it was very interesting to see them, score so many runs. The pitching was a little And they paid for that once they got to the 4 and 5 starters, both Kyle Hendricks and Tsuyoshi Wada. Hendricks is doing very well in the regular season, and he did very well in the first third of that game against Detroit. Then things just fell apart. Now the Cubs are at home. Full count here to J.D. Martinez. 2 outs, 2 on. Doesn't want to leave those guys stranded. But Keuchel can put him away after giving up 2 hits, allowing 3 runners on base here in this half inning. This one hit well, and drops in front of Marisnik. So that will be enough to bring Martinez home, and he slides in safe. So there's the first run of the game. And a run batted in by J.D. Martinez. Here's Nick Castellanos to see if he can keep the momentum going. Fouls that one down and back. 3 straight base runners allowed as Keuchel had to sift his way through the powerful heart of the Tigers lineup. Swing and a miss on the changeup. So now, at least statistically, it will probably get a little bit easier for Dallas. But that's at least statistically. Can't predict baseball, that's why we play it. That's why you have a number 8 seed representing the West. And there's base runner number 4 allowed as Nick Castellanos is hit by a pitch. That's his first time in this tournament. Second time for a Tiger. Alex Avila was hit by one earlier on. So HBP. We'll put him on first, put Hunter at third, and put Martinez at second. That's right, the bases are loaded for Eugenio Suarez. I'm just going to put it out there into the open. We have yet to see a grand slam in the Coliseum baseball tournament. Eugenio Suarez has 4 home runs in the regular season. Doesn't have one here in the tournament. Suarez is not the person that comes to mind when you think of somebody hitting a grand slam, but really, you just need to get a good pitch to hit and to send it just over the fence. Of course, Suarez has 4 of those, so it's not impossible. Castro going out there to talk to Keuchel. What is going on with him in the bottom of the 4th? He allowed a hit to Ian Kinsler. He got Cabrera to fly out. And this one popped up into the air. Marisnik chasing it down. And there's out number 3. So 4 straight base runners getting on. Victor Martinez coming home. So Tigers break the seal first, and they're ahead 1-0 after 4.
Leading out for the Astros, third baseman, Matt Dominguez.
Matt Dominguez swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1, as we start off the top of the 5th. Dallas Keuchel had a rough bottom of the 4th, as the Tigers were able to get men on base. They get a run out of it. So now the Astros are going to see if they can respond in kind. This one fouled off. After 4, the Astros have 3 hits. Nothing to show for it yet. Slider outside. Matt Dominguez flew out to left. His last time up. Went 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And there's another K for him. First one today. And out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. Dominguez now has 6 strikeouts here in the tournament. And now comes John Singleton. Slider outside for ball 1. The Astros, through a game and a half, have 13 hits and no runs scored. Singleton will take a pitch at belt level for strike 1. I'm sure he wishes he had that one back. Not much of a reaction in that shot. Just looking to see if he can get another one later here in the at-bat. He'll hit this one, played to Suarez. And Suarez able to retire him 6-3. So here is Jason Castro. First pitch in there for ball 1. Two-seamer inside now, ball 2. Jason Castro comes into this game 182, improved his average slightly with that 1 hit he got yesterday. So far today, 0 for 1. Grounded out to first. And Cabrera was able to throw it to the pitcher covering. This one popped up in the air. And under it with ease is Castellanos for out number 3. So another 3-up, 3-down inning for the Astros, and it's 1-0. We are halfway home. Halfway home, the Tigers are leading by 1. They were able to get that run in the previous inning off an RBI single by J.D. Martinez. Can Brian Holiday start another rally? We'll find out here as he swings at the first pitch. This one chopped to Dominguez. He's able to get the out at first. So the revolution will not begin with Brian Holiday, at least here to lead off the bottom of the fifth. Keuchel has now given up 1 run on 4 hits. Rajay Davis will take a pitch. He's 1 for 2 so far today with a stolen base. And oddly enough, that was Davis's first stolen base of the entire tournament. He has 30 on the year. So it's interesting that Brad Ausmus has not utilized the speed here in the tournament as much as he has during the regular season. Not that he's needed to. His team is currently on a 7-game winning streak. Two one taken inside. That's 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one finding the inner half of the plate. The 2-2. Davis gets a piece of it, but it will foul. So we'll have to try this count again. Oh, and he takes a pitch inside. And there's a strikeout for out number 2. Been a while since we've seen a K for the pitcher whose name starts with K. And it's 2 strikeouts looking on the evening for Dallas Keuchel. And here's Ian Kinsler, who led off the 4th with a single. Four-seamer over the plate. Well, not quite. Umpire calls it a ball. Four-seamer, that one definitely too low. Keuchel now at 70 pitches. Change up taken, 2 balls, 1 strike. Ian Kinsler coming to Detroit from the Texas Rangers over the winter. He was not happy with that deal, at least with what the Rangers did to him, as Prince Fielder went the other way. He said in an interview during the winter that he hoped the Rangers go 0-82. Now that hasn't happened, but apparently the curse of Kinsler has worked somewhat. Rangers snake bitten with injuries and last in the AL West. This one hit right up the middle. Fowler will have to round it up. And that's the 2nd straight base hit for Ian Kinsler. Take a look at it, just very well hit. Right on the button. And Kinsler's now 2 for 3 on the evening. So here comes Miguel Cabrera, who's 0 for 2 today. And there's a little margin for error when you're already hitting 360. He came into the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series batting 364. Swing and a miss. Cabrera with 2 home runs, both of them here at Comerica, sailed into right field. So if you're looking for a Miguel Cabrera home run ball, you can plan your seats accordingly. That is, if Detroit ever makes it back here to Comerica. Kinsler's in with his 2nd base, 2nd time's a charm, or with a stolen base. 2nd time the charm. He was caught stealing last time. The Tigers decide to give it another go, and it works out. So, runner in scoring position here for Miguel Cabrera. Pressure taken off of him by 90 feet. Cabrera takes the ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looking for his first hit of the game, and an RBI wouldn't be too shabby either. 1-2 from Keuchel. Ooh, swing on the pitch inside. Dallas having none of that. And the pitcher for Houston, able to close out the inning, only giving up 1 hit. So an improvement from the 4th, and it's still 1-0 after 5. Dexter Fowler leading off the inning. He's been known to lead off a game or two. He's usually there within the first 4 spots in the lineup this season. But today, he's 9th. Lays down the bunt, rolls fair, and he is on with a bunt single to lead off the inning. So Bo Porter and the Astros resulting to some small ball here. We'll take a look at that bunt here on show motion. Fowler able to just get it right. It was tightrope in the third base line, stayed fair long enough. Fowler fast enough. He's able to get on to lead off the inning. That's the 14th hit by the Astros in the CBCS. But we haven't seen any runs yet, and we at least won't see it here as Martinez is able to catch the fly out from Altuve. So the star players for both teams, both Miguel Cabrera and Jose Altuve, in backwards land, apparently, as they are hitless so far today. Both are 0-3. And here's Jake Marisnick with a man out and a man on first in the top of the 6th. Astros looking to tie this game. They won't do it on that pitch. Marisnick's going to watch it fly by, too high for ball 1. This one popped back, and a reaching catch by Brian Holiday. Able to get the little chipper back to the backstop in time for out number 2. 60 pitches in, 5 2/3 innings, only 3 hits, given up by Porcello with 3 Ks. And here is the designated hitter, Chris Carter, able to get a hit back in the 4th. He was able to get a hit yesterday. So he's been hitting, just not exceptionally well. That pitch taken low and inside for a strike. Oh, takes a changeup outside, and now he's already in the hole 0-2, 2 outs, with Fowler waiting at first. Swings and misses, 3 pitches, 3 strikes. So after giving up a hit, Porcello able to take down the next 3 batters. It is still 1-0 after 5.5. DH Victor Martinez leading off the bottom of the 6th here from Detroit. Hope you've been enjoying this game. Plenty more where that came from. You can check out the Coliseum Baseball Tournament playlist. All 29 games in one place. You can also check out this playlist, which is growing, depending on how many games this go. This is a best of 5 series with the Detroit Tigers leading 1-0. Be sure to like and subscribe for much more fictional sports action down the line. Speaking of lines, Victor lines this one out to short for out number 1. Here's a look at Dallas Keuchel, 78 pitches for him. He's starting to run him up here, but he has gotten through 5 1/3, so not too shabby. We'll see if he can get out of this inning unscathed. Here's Torrey Hunter, who he gave up a single to his last time up. 4-seamer just below the knees for ball 1. The 1-0. Four-seamer over the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. So over the plate, but too high. Torrey in his second year as a Tiger. In 2 years, he's with Detroit. He's batting .291. With 32 home runs and 148 RBIs. Returning to the AL Central Division after 5 years playing for the Angels. Hunter gets this one up in the air, traveling into left field. Will Grossman get it? He's got it just in front of the warning track. We've been seeing these outfielders making some amazing plays. They've been having to get up on their horses and chase these down, but they have been successful, especially Robbie Grossman, who we remember from the 3rd inning, from the bottom of the 3rd, where he single-handedly retired the side. All 3 batters, Suarez, Holliday, and Davis, flew out to left. And now Hunter does it again for the 4th time today. Here's J.D. Martinez, RBI single his last time up. That is the only run that has been scored so far in this game. Four-seamer in there, but a strike called by the ump. This one hit down the line and foul. The Astros allowed 6 runs in the regional rounds, fewest of any team. The slider's inside, backwards K to wrap up the inning. So even though he's got a hit, apparently he hasn't gotten the strikeout jitters out of him. That's 3 up, 3 down for Keuchel in the bottom of the 6th. We now enter the final 3rd of the game. Whole lot of zeros on the board, except for that 1 run back in the 4th. And here comes Robbie Grossman, able to get a single his last time up, but was eventually left stranded. 1 for 2 today, also has a strikeout. Astros just need 1 run to tie things up. They have not been able to find the offense here in the CBCS thus far. Shutout 3-0 in a game and a half. And Porcello still out here dealing. He's only thrown 64 pitches. And it's made for some quick games. We're already here at the top of the 7th, about an hour and change into our broadcast. Here's the 1-1. And if you notice the Game 1 video from the Coliseum Sports Network, that one clocked in at 1:45. This one fouled off. A lot of the games earlier in the tournament, when we have more teams, so there was a little more offense going around, those started clocking in at 2. I think we had another one at 2.5. But these past couple of games here in the CBCS have been on the quick side. If you're wanting to watch the full game, but you got something you need to do, then these Tigers-Astros matchups are apparently for you. Here's the 2-2 from Porcello. Swing and a miss. Foul tip. Strikeout for Grossman. That's number 2 for Ravi today. So he has a single, but they're bookended by Ks. Both looking in opposite directions. He struck out looking in the 1st, and he struck out swinging in the 7th. So if you are one to fill out scorecards, you'll notice the pattern, and you might chuckle a little bit. Out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. Slider drops in there. No balls, 1 strike for Marwin Gonzalez. 5 Ks for Rick Porcello. Two-seamer. Outside, no balls, 2 strikes. It was well documented that the Tigers' starting rotation was a force to be reckoned with coming into this tournament. Bullpen a little shaky, but when you have your starters going long, you don't have to worry about that as much. Through the 7 games the Tigers played in the regional round, they gave up the second fewest runs per game. Of course, first was the Astros. And we are seeing that come to fruition, at least through the first game and change. This one fouled off by Gonzalez. 0 for 2 today. He lined to Kinsler and flew out to Hunter. This one put in play into the glove of Castellanos, and he's not able to get it to first in time. Marwin Gonzalez able to put on the Jets there. Good job by Castellanos to round it up, or that would have been trouble rolling into left field. Once he got on his knees, he just was not able to make the play in time. So a base hit for Gonzalez. And you can see on the replay, he felt he was safe, he was right, and he feels good about it. So oddly enough, even though Keuchel's the one that gave up the run, Brad Ausmus comes out, and he's going to call to the bullpen. All right, so 6 1/3 here for Rick Porcello. He's only given up 4 hits on the day with 5 strikeouts. And he is responsible for Gonzalez on first. Ian Kroll will come in. He will be tasked with trying to retire the remainder of the side. And here is Matt Dominguez, third baseman. I said before, base hit there by Gonzalez. First pitch to Dominguez in there for a strike. So Kroll, a pitch in, off to a good start. This one lined down the third base side, foul. This one fouled off as well. Oh, and he reaches on the pitch outside. That's the second strikeout for Dominguez. And that is out number 2. So Kroll gets the job done on that pitch. The lefty retiring the righty. So Gonzalez just going to have to wait there at first. Here is John Singleton, who's 0 for 2 today. Two-seamer, low outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. Ian Kroll, born in Hinsdale, went to high school in Naperville and Nequa Valley. So he's from my neck of the woods, from the Coliseum Sports Network's neck of the woods in Chicago. Local kid gets Singleton to jam inside. Kroll selected by the A's in the 7th round of the 2009 draft. Traded to the Nationals in March of 2013, then traded from the Nationals here to the Tigers, along with Steve Lombardozzi and Robbie Ray for Doug Fister. 1-2 count here to Singleton, looking to put him away. Singleton hits this one weakly to Kinsler, easily played. So that is 6.5 here from Detroit. 1 run between the teams. Time to stretch. You're on the Coliseum Sports Network. Bottom of the 7th here in Detroit. The Tigers looking to take a 2-0 lead in this series. If they do, that'll give them a chance to sweep the Astros in Houston on Wednesday. I'm sure the Tigers would like to get back to some good old-fashioned title contending. It's been a gauntlet of a tournament for them over the past month. This one sailing into left field, and Grossman jumps up and does not get it. Can't rob the home run. There's the second home run of the tournament for Nick Castellanos, and it is now 2-0 in favor of the Tigers. Look at it again here on replay. Keuchel already gave up a run. That one a little more tame back in the 4th, an RBI single. This one, a little more power. And Castellanos, his last home run against Miami as it wrapped down the right field foul pole, had to be reviewed by the umpires. No doubt about that one, as that one gets just over the fence into the bullpen. So Keuchel's day is done after giving up a second run. At least he won't have any runners to be responsible. The only batter he faced here in the bottom of the 7th made his way home. So that'll bring up Josh Fields. We saw Josh Fields yesterday in the bottom of the 7th inning, but he came in to lead off the inning. So here's Eugenio Suarez. He left 3 runners stranded back in the 4th. Couldn't keep the party going. Couldn't get a grand slam, which again, we have yet to see here in this tournament. We'll see if he can at least get a hit here. 1 ball, no strikes, though, on the first pitch from Fields. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh Fields, born in Athens, Georgia. Went to college in Athens, Georgia, at the University of Georgia. Former Bulldog, picked first round, 20th overall in 2008. And he gives up this hit to Suarez, hit to Altuve. And the out made at first is the first one of the bottom of the 7th. So Fields able to come in and retire his first batter. Now he'll deal with Brian Holiday, who's 0 for 2 on the evening. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out, and we have an identical score from last night. Tigers ahead 2-0. Change up low and inside for a strike. Holiday in his only other game, he did pretty good for himself. Finished that day 1 for 4 with a 2 RBI double. Not so much here today, at least not right now. 0 for 2 on the day, and he's facing an 0-2 count. Base is empty. Pitch inside, so the at-bat's not over just yet. Holiday gets a piece of that one. Another one fouled off by Holiday. Castro able to round up the pitch. 1-1 now to Rajay Davis. Holiday on first, 1 out. And Josh Fields going to see if he can maybe get a double play here to retire the side. Two balls, 1 strike here to Rajay Davis. Four-seamer low and outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Ian Kinsler due up next. Has 2 straight singles. Looking to bring more offense from the Tigers if needed. This one popped up in the air to left field. Playable for Grossman. And he's got it. Going to force Holiday to retreat back to first. And there's out number 2. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. As the Astros have once again given up 2 runs without scoring any of their own. And Ian Kinsler going to see if he can add to the total here. 2 outs, man on first. First pitch to him. 12-6 curve. Bottom lets out below the zone for ball 1. Holiday still awaiting on first. Kinsler takes another one outside. 3 balls and no strikes now for Ian Kinsler. He might just be able to earn a walk here if Fields does not gain some control. Gonna have to throw a strike to save this at bat. 3-0 with 2 outs. And there it is, strike 1. Josh Fields with a 5.32 ERA so far this season, 2-6 record. That one was coming right at your television screen, and Kinsler was able to foul that off. Full count now to Ian Kinsler. Kinsler wants a walk or a hit. Fields wants a strikeout. Here's a pitch. That one high. Kinsler will take his base, and now there's 2 on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fields struggling. He's allowed 2 base runners now. And that'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Very inopportune here for Josh Fields. Nobody wants a hit worse than Miguel Cabrera. He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout in his last at-bat. So he's going to be looking to swing for the fences, I'm sure, so long as he can find a pitch he can hit. But can Fields outsmart him? Fields needs 1 more out to get out of this jam. 2 men on, 1 in scoring position. Here's the pitch to Cabrera outside. This one hit, rounded up by Altuve, misplayed, and everybody's going to be safe. I'm thinking E4 there. We'll find out from the score. But for now, Kinsler advances to second, Holiday to third, and Cabrera is on first. So here is Victor Martinez. He's 0 for today, but he drew a walk back in the 4th, and he eventually came home off the RBI by J.D. Martinez. That will be an E4 by the usually flawless Jose Altuve. First pitch from Fields. 4-seamer inside. There's strike 1. Fields just has to take it a pitch at a time, as he just needs 2 more. Can't focus on the count, can't focus on the hitter. Just had to throw strikes. He's 24 pitches into his tenure. We'll see if this is the only inning he'll pitch. Four-seamer scorches inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's really quite amazing what the Tigers have done. They have not allowed a hit since they beat Milwaukee 6-3 here at this very park. Pitch outside, Martinez hits it, lines into left field past the glove of Dominguez, and that's going to bring home 2 Tigers, a 2 RBI single by Victor Martinez, and it's now 4-0. That is 6 unanswered between the 2 games for the Detroit Tigers. Oh, mercy, they're starting to go to work here late in Detroit. So the day is done for Josh Fields. He just could not get the job done, and that'll bring up Jose Veras. Fields got 2 outs, couldn't get number 3. We'll see if Veras can get the job done. He'll have to do it against Torrey Hunter. Sinker does exactly what it says on the tin. Here's the 1-0 from Veras. Swing, I miss. Two-one count here to Torrey Hunter. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. This one hit weakly, rounded up by Gonzalez, and they just need to force out at second. They got it. And that'll do it for this 7th. 2 runs now given up by Keuchel and pitching staff. And it is now 4-0 after 7. Jason Castro coming up to the plate. He's really been struggling pretty much throughout the tournament. He's 0 for 2 today. He's been hovering around the high 100s. He's trying to get out of the basement here today, but he has not been able to make anything of it. The experimental lineup brought in by Bo Porter here in Game 2 so far has only generated 5 hits. Pitch inside, and now Ian Kroll's behind, 2 balls and no strikes. This one hit to Suarez, 6-3, no problem. So Castro is 0 for today. Here's a look at the pitching comparison. I mean, all things considered, Keuchel himself didn't do too bad. But when you're taking on a team like the Tigers that have been shutting out opponents over the course of 4 games, sometimes giving up 2 runs is too many. Here's Dexter Fowler. You got a single back in the 6th. This one hit weakly. It's fair. Rounded up by Holiday. And the out is made at first. 2-3. And now Fowler is 1 for 3 on the day. And take a look at it here on replay. It's really amazing how quick the catcher has to react in both taking off the mask and then rounding up the ball to make the play. Definitely something I marvel at with pitchers across the league. So here's Jose Altuve. He has not had a very Jose Altuve day. Jose came into this game hitting .565. He may still be in the 500s when this is all said and done. He's working with house money in terms of batting average. But just not a good day at the office for him. There's some questions to answer here. That is, if Houston's not able to rally here in the next 2 innings. As far as what Bo Porter is going to do about the Tigers, they have become unstoppable here late in the tournament. They put that Cubs loss on their shoulder back at the beginning of the tournament, fought their way through the regional rounds, and it's like they've gotten better with each passing game. Two-seamer over the plate. Altuve still ahead in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. As I said before, the Tigers have not given up a run in 4 games. This one chopped to Castellanos, and the throw's too high. Goes into the stands out of play. So Altuve will get on what is almost certainly an E5. Castellanos does not have to feel too bad. Altuve himself will almost assuredly feel his pain. He committed an error, did Altuve, back in the bottom of the 7th. But it keeps the inning alive with 2 outs and a man on for Jake Marisnick. Go through my notes here back in time to see if I can trace the last inning that the Tigers gave up a run. That was in the 7th inning of that 6-3 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. That pretty much eliminated the Brewers. It was an RBI double by Scooter Gennett that brought in Gene Segura. Since then, nothing. Marisnick swings and fouls off the 0-1. Now it's 0-2. Now Altuve getting 2 bases on the error by Castellanos. And Marisnick's going to see if he can make something of it. At the very least, the Astros probably just want to score. They're in a position here in the CBCS that they have not been in. As we've talked about before, the Astros were always good for those 4 runs during the regional round, but now they're taking on the Tigers, and the tables have turned. Now they've given up 4 in this game. They haven't scored at all through 2. Swing and a miss. Marisnick goes down on strikes, and Altuve is stranded. Day 2 at the office is worse than the first here for the Astros. Tigers get their last offensive swings after this. Martinez, the only Tigers batter to not get some swings back in the 7th, is going to lead off here. He's 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI. Sinker inside, he'll take it 0-1. Veras still in the game. Jose Veras was able to get Hunter to ground into a force play. That's all he needed to do. Josh Fields got the first 2 outs, but just couldn't close the deal. And Fields came in after Keuchel gave up a solo home run to Nick Castellanos. And Martinez is going to continue his rough day. Not as bad as yesterday because he did get an RBI single, but still pretty rough as he gets his 2nd strikeout. And we'll look at it again here on replay. That one inside, probably shouldn't have swung at that one. And Martinez will go down on strikes for the 2nd time today. Here's Nick Castellanos. Just hit a home run, a solo shot to lead off the 7th. What magic does he have here? Taking on Jose Veras, a new pitcher. 0-1 count here to Castellanos. Sinker outside, no balls and 2 strikes. Veras going to see if he can put him away in 3. Castellanos not going for the waste pitch or splitter outside for ball 1. Suarez in the on-deck circle is 0 for 3. Castellanos 1 for 2. That sinker too low. Castellanos also got on when he was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. He was the last base runner to reach in that inning, was stranded at first. 2-2 to Castellanos. Double clutch, but the bat does not leave the shoulder, and now the count is run full. And now Veras in a bit of trouble. He's gotten 2 outs since he stepped up to the plate, or since he stepped up to the mound. Oh, and he'll get it on the check swing. First strikeout today for Castellanos. But it seems that Nick has done more than enough upon his return to the batting order to get this Tigers the 2-0 lead in this series. Here's Eugenio Suarez. He's looking to do something. He wants to be included. He's 0 for 3 today in his return to the batting order after Andrew Romine spelled him back in Game 1. The Tigers able to get some decent offense out of Romine. 2 for 3 with a double yesterday. But now Suarez is back to play. And he comes in batting .250. I'm sorry, .231. He'll take the sinker. 3 balls and no strikes. Veras got his 2 outs both on the strikeout. Can he do it again by turning around the at-bat? He gets his first strike, but he's still got a ways to climb here. 3-1 count to Eugenio Suarez. And this one hit right into center field. First hit of the game for Eugenio Suarez is a 2-out single here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Brian Holiday. He got on base with a single back in the 7th. Sinker in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. And this one popped up into the air. Under it, Fowler for out number 3. So a hit given up by Veras, but he gets out of the inning. It's still 4-0 heading into the top of the 9th. Chris Carter leading off the top of the 9th as the Astros have one more chance here to get some runs on the board, possibly make a comeback, and tie this series up at 1 apiece. Otherwise, 3 outs from now, the Tigers will take a 2-0 lead to Houston. They'll hope to wrap it up on Wednesday. 4-seamer low. 1-0 count for Ian Kroll. Kroll's come in and he hasn't given up a hit. Jose Altuve reached second base on an error by Nick Castellanos. But otherwise, Kroll's been doing work here. 2 strikeouts to his name. Struggling, though, here against Chris Carter. 3-0 count. Carter, Grossman, Gonzalez all due up here in the top of the 9th. Here's the pitch. Just outside, but over the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike. Carter is 1 for 3 today with a single and a strikeout. Tries to get a good swing on that one. Fouls it back to the umpire. So the umpire going to try to shake it off. Let's take a look at it here on replay and show motion, which I'm sure the umpire will just love. That one fouled back off the shoulder. So he's feeling the brunt of that, but he's all right. So we'll keep it moving. Full count here to Chris Carter to lead off the top of the 9th. Here's the 3-2. And this one hit right to Castellanos. He's going to take a little more time with this one, and he gets out number 1. So Kroll retired 4 straight before Altuve reached on the air. So now he's starting a new streak here, trying to close out the game as a strikeout and a ground out to third. Here's Robbie Grossman, 1 for 3 himself. A strikeout in the first, a single in the 4th, and a strikeout in the 7th. Two-seamer in there, 1 ball, 1 strike. This one put in play, rounded up by Suarez. Can he get the out at first? Yes, sir. That took some speed and moxie, but Eugenio Suarez able to pull it off. Let's take a look on the replay. Had to vacuum that, then in motion, almost awkwardly, had to get the throw off to Cabrera at first, and he does just that. So now, we are down to our last out here for the Astros, and it is Marwin Gonzalez. He of 1 and 3. Got a single back in the 7th. On his second at bat, he flew out to right. That was that amazing catch by Torrey Hunter up against that wall. And that closed out the 4th. It's a defense like that has allowed the Tigers to score 15 unanswered. Diving stop by Suarez. He got him at first. And the Tigers take a 2-0 lead in the CBCS. The Tigers, AL pennant contenders, have come into the Coliseum tournament, and they are taking care of business. So the Astros are going to be behind the 8 ball heading into Game 3 on Wednesday. Will some home cooking do them some good? We'll have to find out, because the Tigers are on a roll. Here's a look at the stats here. A 1 here, a 3 there, and that's all the Tigers needed. Zeros across the board for the second straight game for the Astros. So Rick Porcello getting the win. Dallas Keuchel getting the loss. And here is our top player of the game. It's Rick Porcello. Second straight game where the pitcher has gotten some love by Topps. And why wouldn't he? 6 1/3, 5 strikeouts, and no runs surrendered. So the Tigers continue to roll along, led by the pitching and defense. of the Detroit Tigers. So that will do it for this presentation of the Coliseum Baseball Tournament and the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Coliseum Sports Network. Be sure to check out simscoliseum.com. And be sure to check out Sims Coliseum on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. That'll do it from Detroit. The Tigers win it 4-0. We head to Game 3 in Houston, where it will be Robbie Ray against Scott Feldman. Can the Astros score, and can they get a win? Or will the Tigers sweep? We'll have to find out. I'm Raymond Sims. Thank you for watching.